What's up, everybody? Today I'm working on this little 69 Camaro right here. It's a friend and customer. He brought it in last week. Just doing some odd end stuff to it, like this big aluminum radiator right here, 2 electric fans. Got a little hard braking issue with a vacuum pump. I'm doing set of the Detroit speed, electric headlight door conversions, fixed his shifter, just odd end little stuff to it. But yesterday I had a friend in the shop when he pointed out what he thought was a nail in the tire, and which turned out to not be a nail, but the issue that I found from just grabbing a hold to the wheel and tire kind of scared me a little bit. So I'm gonna spin this thing around and show you what we found. So like I said, yesterday, friend, he thought he saw a nail in the tire, which it turned out to be just a rock, but I reached down to pick at the rock or nail, and I just grabbed the tire, and when I grabbed it and moved it, the wheel moved about 1/2 inch. And so I grabbed it and, you know, just real sloppy, and I looked, all the lugs were tight. So what I found was on the back side of the spindle, hard to see, but basically the 2 bolts and nuts that hold the steering arm onto the spindle were super loose. I guess whenever, or whoever built the car originally and put the SSBC brakes on it, I guess when they had everything apart for the dust shield and stuff, I don't know, either they forgot to tighten them or they've just backed themselves out. But the steering arm, basically, I mean, it had at least 3/8 to 1/2 inch of play against the spindle, just rocking back and forth. And going down the road, if that steering arm would have come apart, you know, or come off the spindle, that would have been a very bad day. So we're just very thankful that, you know, it didn't happen while the customer was driving, or even when I was driving it around the block, just giving it a test drive. So glad we caught it, and I've already tightened them back up and got that fixed. And pretty much to fix that, you know, pull the caliper off, take the nut off the spindle, pull your rotor off, and that way you can get access to the 2 bolt heads, which are right there behind the rotor against the dust cover, and of course the 2 nuts on the back side. But got it all back together and it's good to go. You can see this massive radiator that I installed. Pretty neat little car. Customer, he built this engine a year or so ago for it. It doesn't have many miles on it. We actually just did the first oil change and got the break-in oil out of it, but it's a dark block. It's a 540 cubic inch. It's got a Tremec TKO 600 5-speed behind it with a 12 bolt rear end. But the aluminum radiator he had in it, actually, the car ran cool, but he just wanted something a little bit nicer and prettier. So he found this company that's made in the USA. It's called Entropy. Huge radiator though, 2 big electric fans. I did have to drill new holes in the core support where their brackets put it on the core support. It was, honestly, it was just too far over towards the driver's side, so repositioned it. I did have to move the battery tray over just a hair, but it allowed me, you know, big block with a long water pump and a serpentine setup kind of gives you some clearance issues. So that pulley kind of rides inside the fan there a little bit, but you've got plenty of clearance with the engine moving. You got plenty of clearance there on the power steering pump pulley. But everything's in, and I'm actually in the process of running my fan harness for my relays and fuses now. I've already got the temp sensor in it, so should be able to button that up and move on to the next one. Also, while it was in, we went ahead and installed the Scat Pro Car seats. You can see it's got nice side bolsters, nice tracks, but he also, the car already had the houndstooth rear seat, and it had some factory bucket seats that were houndstooth, but honestly, whoever had covered them years ago, the houndstooth, you know, they did the inserts themselves, and it was just too wide, and I don't know, it just, to me, took away from the interior. So he found these, and I think they really add to the car and, you know, look good. So it come with headrests. At the moment, I think we're going to leave them off. We kind of like the look without the headrest, even though it is a 69. You can see it's got a Tremec 5-speed, some autometer gauges, Budnick steering wheel, but the shifter was actually loose. And so basically all I did was I pulled the shift plate off the center console. The I'm not sure if this one come from American Powertrain or where, but it did have the adjustable shifter, so it allows you to position the shifter handle in a bunch of different positions. And they've got a couple Allen head bolts, and you know, something like this has got a pretty big cam, you know, it just tends to shake stuff loose, and one of the adjustment bolts, they backed out, so took it apart, readjusted it, and tightened everything back up, so it's good to go. But just a clean little car. The last thing I'm gonna do after I finish everything else up is put the Detroit Speed electric headlight doors. Customer, he's complained about having a hard brake pedal, and basically what they've done is that somewhere along the way, you know, they put a vacuum pump on it with a small vacuum tank or air tank, and basically they've got just vacuum hoses everywhere, some that go for the headlight doors, the pump, then the tank, and then also for the booster. And I just think there's just too much on the system, and like I said, with this big cam and stuff, it just isn't working well. So basically we're gonna try to get rid of all that and just use it for the booster, and that way hopefully the brake issue will be fixed, and then the electric headlight doors will eliminate a lot of the clutter up under the hood. So you can see I've just kind of been monkeying with the doors, looking at stuff, but the Detroit Speed kit should work out pretty good. I think we're gonna go ahead and swap to some LED headlights, but should be a fairly easy install on that. Detroit Speed stuff's really nice. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and push the notification bell. Let us know anything in the comment section you don't know about the car or anything else we're working on. Thanks.